Yeah, look at that. Look at that. That's awesome.
What's weird is this doesn't look as chonky as like a real judge in real life. There is some practical application for this, but it's a very specific weapon system. Dude, can you imagine running two? How do you reload? How do you reload when you do a wield?
That's why they take it off screen, because magically it has to.
Well, this does look like a fun game, I'll tell you that.
The Golden AK, the most beautiful and impractical weapon of them all. Yeah, it's even got some bling on the front there.
So this is one of my favorite butt stocks. I like the the folders that fold underneath. I like those. What I don't like about this is bedazzled. How like freaking you know like the history behind golden AKs, right?
No, there's a history behind golden AKs?
Oh yeah, man. So it's like with cartels, with drug cartels, but then also like, Saddam Hussein. You could do like Cerakoting and just different weapons coating to like mimic it, but then there are people that legitimately get real gold plating on their AKs.
Oh my gosh. So expensive, so impractical.
But also, if you see that on the street, just leave that alone. Just leave it alone.
I'm telling you, yeah, you don't want that thing in your collection. Because obviously some drug lord's going to come after you.
But I mean, AK is a good gun. We've talked about the AK ad nauseum. From what I understand, this was a special edition for this game.
Right.
That, I don't know if it's a reward or whatever. I mean, I try to talk positive. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like the weird rhinestones. I don't like the weird white bumps. If it was a gold AK, that'd be dope. Or if they somehow put the jewels on it to look a little cool. If they had like some like Day of the Dead skulls or something on it. I don't know. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But like that just kind of seemed a little weird to me. Forgive me.
In a game like Payday, where we are kind of glamorizing like being a bank robber and stuff, that's got to be like the pinnacle of the walking in. You look, the purple gloves made me think that the Joker, was coming.
Yeah, I get it. I think I'm just being nitpicky on how they did it in the game. I think a gold AK is cool, you know what I mean? But I don't know. The way they bedazzled it just made it look, I don't know.
When you're at that level of criminality, it's all about personal taste, baby. All right, Jacket's piece.
Oh, okay. So this is just a Mac 10.
Mac 10.
Mac 11.
All right.
Yeah, there we go.
A very pretty Mac 10, I gotta say.
Now, you see, this I like. I like the, like the Miami Vice.
Miami Vice for sure,
You got the broom handle up front. What's weird is, like, that doesn't look like a suppressor, but that looks more like a faux suppressor with, like, a jacket on it or a barrel shroud. But whatever, I'm cool with it.
Look at the reload animation. There's no charge. Oh, there you go. He's charging back. That looks a really stubby charging handle.
And the thing is that wire, that wire buttstock. It's funny, they put a nice, like, broom handle. I mean, it's definitely more stable with the pistol grip up front,
Right. Good for close quarters. It looks like pretty compact.
Yeah, and it's, it's an effective weapon system. It's really simple.
Whoa!
That's a nice looking mask. All right, here we go. Oh,
yeah, a little bit of Call of Duty bullet time. I like that.
Stimulants real quick with time dilation going on there.
Yeah.
What's that like anthropomorphic animal movie where the squirrel drinks a Red Bull and then like it's like the Matrix, time stands still? You know what I'm talking about? It's the best scene in the whole movie. So I think I remember. Oh, the Peacemaker. Oh my goodness, look at that barrel.
Yeah, baby. That's like the Joker's gun from the first Batman. He pulls it out of his pants.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. This right here is modeled after a single action army. Now, the difference between this and a modern pistol is really easy to clear a modern pistol, right? Okay. And then you rack the slide and, you catch the bullet. I know it's clear. That was really simple to do, right? Now, if I want to make sure this is clear, I go 1, 2. You hear those clicks? You take it to half cock, you open up the loading gate, and then at half cock, the cylinders will rotate freely. Now, this is most traditional single action revolvers, right? And then so I can look in, I count to 6, I know it's clear, all right? See how much longer that process took? If it was a cartridge gun, you would take it to half cock, open it up, and you would load 1, then skip 1, then do 2, 3, 4, 5. So remember, you skipped that one. If you counted right, you're going to hold the hammer back and gently set it down, and that sets down on an empty chamber. But if you look at these, most of these guns have the firing pin attached to the hammer. And so if you were to load 6 rounds into this 6-shooter, and you gently set the hammer down, it's sitting right on a primer. Then you go to holster that thing, or you jump off your horse or your steel stallion if you're riding a motorcycle, or whatever, you can shoot yourself in the foot, right? So you usually carry these bad boys with 5 rounds.
Nice, man. Nice history lesson.
Look at the difference in in barrel sizes. Right? This is a 45 Colt, or they can call it a 45 long Colt. It's a big honking bullet. This is pretty much what I and most people carry every day. 9mm, modern 9mm ammunition is great for all-around self-defense. This is a 45
Yeah.
Colt. You know, and this is just a cowboy load, which means it's loaded for just, you know, fun, shooting, plinking kind of stuff. It's not very high recoiling, but you can load these pretty hot. And if your frame of your weapon can handle it, you can, you know, take down a grizzly bear with one of these things. You heard of 45 ACP, well, this is 45 Colt.
The little friend 7.62.
So this is an AR-10. Oh, it's got like, I really love these H&K style sights on top here. I'm a big fan of them. You got a drum in the back that you'll rotate for different size apertures. And then I really like that front, the way the front's protected and everything. I actually like it better than your traditional M16, M4 sights. Now, if you look at that chonky magazine, this is an AR-10 shooting 7.62 NATO. This is not an AR-15 shooting 5.56 or any of the gazillion calibers you can shoot out of an AR-15 with just changing out a few things. But I think the reason they call it my little friend is because of the 203 underneath.
Right, from Scarface. Speaking of Al Pacino and Scarface, here we are, the final scene.
Yeah.
The world is yours.
Yeah, so it's not the same gun, same style gun. A little bit bigger bullet coming out of that thing. I believe he was running a normal 5.56 223 gun. And man, I remember that muzzle flash.
Yep.
You know, I like to use full load blanks. It helps the actors act more. But also, when you run a film, 24 frames per second is usually the standard. It's the most natural looking to the human eye. When you're shooting blanks, the muzzle flash might be in between each frame of the film, right? So full load blanks have a huge muzzle blast, which means it lasts longer, which means it's more likely to be picked up on camera. So he was definitely in that movie scene running full load blanks. The blanks we use in the military are so weak, we got to put those blank firing adapters, basically plug the barrel to make sure it cycles properly, right?
Yeah, to make sure we get the cycle, yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, that's a cool gun. I haven't seen an AR-10 with a 203 on it. That's a pretty formidable gun. It's also going to be a pretty heavy gun too, right? Because like everything in an AR-10 is built a little beefier to handle a little bit more power of the 7.62 NATO round. And so, you know, the ammunition weighs more, but doesn't mean you can't throw one on there.
All right, we got the broomstick. Hey, it's the Han Solo gun right there. It looks awesome. We featured this on Lethal Antiquities over on Shiftfire.
Oh, cool. Did you take one apart?
We got to look at it. We got to fire. Yeah, look at that. That's Han Solo right there, baby.
Yeah, so my friend Eric has one of these and from Iraq Vet 8888, great YouTube channel. He took one of these apart for me one night. It was crazy because we were both geeking out. I was like, look at the intricacies, and it's like the German engineering involved in it, and it's not the most reliable gun. It's not the most makes the most sense. In this early stage of automatic pistol, it's really cool to look back in history. And yes, I want one. 100% I want one. But it's just, and you see, it's using clips, not magazines. Right. Actual clips, strip of clips, right?
That scope looks to be on the wrong side for a right hand.
But like, it's just the intricacies and how everything comes apart and how it, you know, goes together is just absolutely insane. And what's cool is like this is modeled after the DL44 blaster, which I am a hardcore, diehard OG EU expanded universe Star Wars fan. First 4 movies,
there you go.
First 5 movies being the 3 original Star Wars movies and the 2 Ewok movies, which are pretty good.
Yes, the Ewok movies are canon.
They are. And I don't count this new stuff as canon. Wonderful people worked on them, along with probably some really not wonderful people, so whatever. But anyways, yeah, this thing's cool. I love that it's in the game. This makes me want to run this game. This makes me want to build one of these things. You know, I wish there was a company that would make more historical firearms of modern day. But, you know, when you get into business, and especially something as controversial as firearms, it's a huge, you know, investment. Especially because stuff back then was machined, man. You know, and yeah, stuff now is machined, but like hand machined by artisans, by like people with like such high tolerances and stuff. I would love to have an original, and I totally want this gun as well. I totally want one.
Nice. Rattlesnake. What are we looking at? This is cool.
Oh yeah, it's clearly a bull action. Here's the thing: I'm not a distance dude. I'm not a sniper. I'd love. Oh, it's got the smart scope. Look at that. Yeah, I want to do some of the distance courses at Thunder Ranch. But I also just want to do the fighting stuff there too. Yeah, so that's one of those smart scopes. And actually, I think Army or the U.S. military is going to start introducing some of these optics where they measure all kinds of crazy shit. And they got like laser rangefinders on there and like barometric data and all sorts of stuff which affects bullet travel. So that's pretty cool. You know, if you looked earlier, there was that big honking forward rail. I'm not sure what you would use that for. This almost looks like it's got a different rail on it than the first one they showed. Yeah, because like, what are you going to put on it? Maybe a light, but like, you're not going to be clearing rooms with that thing, you know? Like, this is where a good PDW, a good high capacity pistol, tiny little sub gun going along with a bolt gun. Because, like, I mean, clearing rooms with a bolt gun, they did it in World War I and World War II. But that's just like happened.
Looks like there's like a digital readout on top of the scope.
Yeah, so that's one of those smart scopes. It gives you all that information that you normally would have to get out, laser rangefinder. Tells you, some of them tell you like barometric pressure, wind speed and stuff. Now, I don't know how, one of those do wind speed and put propeller on it. Some of them literally adjust your optics, that way you get on the target. Other ones just display information for you to adjust, windage and elevation to properly hit your target.
Yeah! Here come the judge!
Yeah, that's ugly looking. So, what's weird is this doesn't look as chonky as like a real judge in real life. So there's the Taurus judge, and then I think Smith & Wesson has one called Educator or something. There's something.
So it looks like shotgun shells.
Well, sort of. So that's a 45 long pull or a 410 shotgun. They have almost a very similar diameter, and so in this, they're most likely using and you can load it with buckshot. You can load it with double-aught, single-aught, like one. I've expressed before, I really like 4 buckshot for defensive loads. Yeah, those are shotgun shells right there. Which is funny because you can't buy those in California. Nothing fun is allowed in California.
Wait a minute. This looks like the... Hold on. Let's take a second there. This looks like the warehouse from Reservoir Dogs. Okay, maybe
yeah.
I
see what you're saying, though, down there a little bit. Yeah, great reference, by the way. Wonderful movie.
All right, just got to throw that in there, folks.
All right, so there's a great scene in Max Payne. There's a great scene where he's like just shooting this thing through like bathroom stalls and stuff. It looks cool. There is some practical application for this, but it's a very specific weapon system. I would not get one of these. I had a friend whose like brother's wife, who's this tiny little girl. The guy sold her one of those. I'm like, what are you doing? This is not a concealed carry self-defense weapon for like everyday stuff. What it's good for is like snakes, that type of varmint. Some people say it's good for carjackings because it's close up, right? Like, nah, man, I'll just run my normal striker fired, 17 round. I think it's very limited in scope, what it's useful for. It's very specific and limited on its capabilities. It is awesome. Let me know if any of you carry a Taurus Judge or the Smith & Wesson variant. Let us know what you think about it and if you've ever killed any snakes and then eaten them. I hope you do after you kill them. That's what I do.
All right, the Patchett L2A1. Hey!
Oh, hey!
Look at that.
This is Sterling.
Now that's looking a little Star Wars too right there.
Yeah, E11 Stormtrooper blaster.
Yeah, baby.
And it's such a sexy looking blaster too. I think I have one of them in a box somewhere. They shot Star Wars in England and they had all these surplus British and European weapons, and so they just modified it because, there wasn't an internet. You had to get books and stuff. Not a lot of people knew about that stuff. Most of the weapons they did in there, like some of the new Disney Star Wars series, like that's an AK. Like what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like clearly, where they dressed up the E11 blaster enough, it fits perfectly in the film lore. And Han Solo's blaster was, it looks realistic to me. I think it looks fine. So these are a lot of fun. These are cool. Got a fun little optic on it. I like that you use in the video game. Yep. Did you ever see is it Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels?
I did, a long time ago.
Running some big old machine gun because that's all they could like find over there. That scene, that sequence of violence was just incredible.
Yeah, at the very end with the slow build up, the Italian music. So
I've shot Stens before. I have not shot a Sterling yet. And I want to. Obviously, I want one, but I'm on a budget. I'm not big baller, but those are fun.
Brothers Grimm 12 gauge. Oh! There you go.
All right, so do you know what this is? This is a Sega shotgun, so it's basically like an AK style shotgun. So this is a bullpup conversion on like a Sega 12 or Sega 10. I think.
Yeesh. That looks like it'll tear you apart, man.
We were talking about pump shotguns earlier, and one of the reasons law enforcement uses a lot of pump shotguns is because you can run less than lethal. You can run different rounds. Yeah. Where a lot of automatic shotguns, they have to be tuned specifically for the round. But modern semi-auto shotguns are pretty reliable with most any ammunition. And so, I still want to get a Benelli M4, so bad. A lot of people now are recommending if you get a shotgun for self-defense, get Mossberg, I think they're 590. That one's pretty good. Such a learning curve to be able to run a combat pump shotgun effectively. These things are pretty devastating. I've never fired a bullpup AK-style shotgun before.
Looks
But,
really wild. I hadn't heard about him until recent episodes of Gamology and stuff.
Yeah, and it's got cans on the front, so you can suppress a shotgun. You know, the first time I ever saw one in film was No Country for Old Men.
Yep, there you go.
You know, that was a great scene. I bet you take a nod to that because, like, that suppressor in that movie was also, like, brushed stainless or something like that. It was, you know, wasn't your typical tactical black. Dude, can you imagine running to? How do you reload? How do you reload when you do a wield? I never understood.
That's why they take it off screen, because magically it has to.
Well, this does look like a fun game, I tell you that. I mean, it looks like these guys are having an awful lot of fun. Maybe not the guys getting shot, but... I mean, I like the scenario. I like the train robbery. That's super cool.
Yeah, it's a little bit of wish fulfillment, you know what I mean? Like a little bit of fantasy there.
Oh no, a microgun.
Yeah, baby.
Like a mini
now we're talking. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. That's awesome.
You got like 12-inch barrels on this.
Is that shoulder mounted?
Holy moly. The amount of electricity it takes to turn this, the amount of, like, recoil's weird on a minigun though. It's not like what you think, especially if it's mounted on a helicopter.
Woo! That's awesome. That's pure joy right there.
Yeah, they make 5.56 miniguns, man. For those of you that don't know, on battleships, they have these big, like, Gatling guns that are attached to radar. And if they get an incoming missile, you know, it goes... and it just shoots out. It just angry buzzsaw. It just shoots out this stream of bullets and they take out the missile coming in. And it's sick. And I think there's 2 instances of the U.S. military where, like, one turned and did it and shot another battleship.
Oh, no! Not the one!
I mean, this is totally impractical, but tons of fun. You'd have to slow down the rate of fire. Where these things are really effective is like aircraft, man. You know, high-speed miniguns. You know anybody that ran one of these on a Humvee? Not this.
There were Humvees in country that had them. I never ran with any of them. I took a few rides on some Blackhawks where the gunner had a minigun.
Yeah, that's cool looking. You know, it's got to be heavy as hell.
Yeah, it looks like they made it like kind of shoulder mounted, you know, right up here.
James Cameron did something where he took like a Steadicam mount and he put it on a crew-served weapon for Aliens 2.
Yeah.
And you've been on film sets, right, where they have this rig called the Scorpion, where it's this thing that comes overhead. That's another type of Steadicam mount. Well, both of those have been introduced into the tactical world running crew-served weapons or carrying shields.
No kidding.
So I could see a system like that. The real reason this is impractical is just plain rate of fire or power consumption. Like, your ammunition, you can't keep enough for it to be practical. On a vehicle, you can, you know what I mean? But like, it's just... But I'm also not poo-pooing it. It does look like a lot of fun.
Dude, so great. Yeah, no, this whole game just looks like a lot of fun.
My favorite was Han Solo's blaster. It was the perfect combination of, like, sci-fi, but it still shot real freaking bullets. That's probably my favorite gun of all the ones we've done in this iteration.
Listen, folks, if I'm going to choose one weapon from all of these that we've seen today, it's got to be that microgun, man. I mean, I just don't even care. Like, not even the golden AK can take my eyes off of this beauty. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Total Recoil. Paul, where can people find you out there?
Hey folks, you can find me on Instagram at MAV11B, MAV11B, and also my podcast, Thunderpunk Radio.
Folks, if you liked this video, or if you didn't, leave a comment down in the comments section. Let us know what you thought about this video and what other video games you'd like us to feature in future episodes of Total Recoil. Check out Gamology's Facebook and YouTube page. Hit that subscribe button and that notification bell, folks. Hit that like button, and we'll see you on the next one.
Catch you on the flip side. My hat? What? No.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He loves my hat. I never told him that. He just likes it.